If you're watching this, you probably love a good scare. Or maybe you just need to know you're not alone in thinking the world holds more than meets the eye. Either way, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and for real, drop a comment below if you've ever felt that inexplicable chill down your spine when the sun's still blazing. Because I need to know, I really do. It started subtly, as these things always do. On one of those brutal July days where the humidity just seemed to glue itself to your skin. My little apartment on the east side of Milwaukee, usually a cool sanctuary, thanks to its thick brick walls, felt like an oven. The old air conditioner was fighting a losing battle, groaning under the strain. I work from home as a graphic designer, so my world shrinks to my laptop and the four walls, making me acutely aware of every shift in my environment. The first weird thing, a smell, not like anything rotting or even bad in the conventional sense, more like damp earth, deeply disturbed, mixed with something indescribably sweet and cloying, like overripe fruit left in the sun too long, just on the cusp of fermentation. It wasn't constant, just wafted in and out, usually when the heat was at its most suffocating. I blamed the old building, maybe a forgotten plant, or even the lake breeze bringing something unpleasant from Lake Michigan's shore, but it persisted. Then came the sounds, rustling, like someone shuffling through dead leaves right outside my window, except it was all concrete and asphalt below, or faint whispers. At first, I blamed the heat, my own exhaustion from constantly being on edge, or maybe the old building creaking under the pressure of the oppressive warmth. But the whispers, they started to form words, or rather, fragments of words, always just out of earshot, always when I was alone, thirsty, waiting. Join us. My imagination, I told myself, just my overactive imagination, playing tricks in the stifling heat. The shadows were next. You know how the intense summer sun streams in, creating sharp outlines and deep, dark pockets. Sometimes, for a split second, I'd swear I'd see a shape within a shadow where there shouldn't be one, a distortion, a flicker of something too tall, too thin, too angular, gone before I could blink, before my brain could process it. I started pulling the blinds down, even in the middle of the day, sacrificing light for a futile sense of security. The apartment became a tomb, dim and heavy, but I felt safer in the manufactured twilight. It all culminated one sweltering night in late August. There was no breeze, zero air circulation. My ancient window AC unit had finally given up the ghost earlier that evening, sputtering into silence. I was lying in bed, drenched in sweat, trying to read by the dim glow of my phone, desperate for a distraction from the suffocating heat. The air in the room felt viscous, like it was pressing down on me, coating my skin. The cloying sweet smell was potent now, making my stomach churn with a sickening nausea. It hung heavy, thick enough to taste. Then I heard it clearly, not a whisper this time. A low, wet slurp originating from the corner of the room near my dresser. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drum call in the oppressive silence. My throat went dry. Slowly, so slowly, I lifted my phone, aiming the weak flashlight beam towards the sound. And there, standing in the deepest shadow, was a figure. It wasn't human. It was tall, impossibly thin, its limbs seeming to stretch and contract like wet clay. Its skin, if you could call it that, was the color of dried mud, cracked and peeling in places, but with a horrifying sheen, like it was constantly weeping moisture. And its eyes, they weren't eyes. They were just deep, black hollows, like pits in a desiccated skull. But from within them, I swear, I saw a faint, hungry luminescence. A desperate, ancient need. It swayed, almost imperceptibly, and I heard that slurping sound again, closer now. It was drawing moisture from the air, from me. I could feel my skin prickle, my mouth go impossibly dry, not just from terror, but from a profound, unnatural dehydration. It was like every drop of humidity, every bit of life was being siphoned away from the room, from my very being. I felt myself shriveling, then it spoke. Not with a mouth, it didn't seem to have one. But the words resonated in my skull, chilling me to the bone. The summer feeds us, the warmth, the wetness. You have so much. Its voice was a dry rasp, like sandpaper rubbing against bone, yet it held an undeniable, ancient power. It reached out a hand, or what passed for one, long, spindly fingers, tipped with what looked like razor-sharp thorns, and I saw something dripping from them. Not water, but something thick and syrupy, dissolving into the air before it hit the floorboards, leaving no trace. I screamed. It was a raw, guttural sound, torn from my lungs. I didn't think, I just reacted. I scrambled off the bed, stumbling, and threw myself towards the door. The sound of its movement behind me was sickening, a wet, scraping drag, like something too heavy being pulled over rough stone, combined with that horrifying slurp. I fumbled with the lock, my hand shaking so violently I thought I'd never get it open. But some primal instinct screamed run. I burst out into the hallway, leaving the apartment door wide open behind me, not caring what was left inside. I didn't stop until I was out on the street, gasping for breath, the humid night air feeling strangely cool now that I was away from it. I called my sister, incoherent, sobbing into the phone. She picked me up, convinced I'd had a heat stroke-induced nightmare, babbling about a monster and a syrupy smell. The next morning, with the sun, bright and unforgiving, she insisted we go back. The apartment door was still ajar. Inside, everything was exactly as I'd left it. No strange smells, no wet residue, no disturbing figure. But the air conditioner, which had been broken for hours, was now working perfectly, humming away, making the small space blissfully cool, too cool. And on my bedside table, where a full glass of water had sat the night before, it was now bone dry, as if the liquid had simply evaporated away in an instant. I packed that day. Everything I owned, I couldn't stay. Even though there was no physical evidence, I felt drained, like something had taken a piece of me. The moisture in my skin, the vibrancy in my spirit, and every summer since, living miles from Milwaukee, I still feel it. That subtle dread when the heat truly sets in, when the air grows thick and heavy. That whisper of something ancient and hungry, stirring in the long, hot days. So, yeah, that's my story. My creepy summertime horror, maybe, was just a hallucination, a heat-induced fever dream. But the feeling never left. And sometimes, when the cicadas hum loudest and the air hangs still and heavy, I swear I can smell that sickly sweet scent again, just on the edge of my senses. And I wonder, is it still there in my old apartment in Milwaukee, waiting for the next heat wave? Or did it follow me? I don't know. But tell me, have you ever felt the summer itself watching you, craving something from you? Let me know in the comments. And maybe, just maybe, keep your windows shut when the heat really hits.